Hello everyone, myself Paul O'Connor, Assistant Professor of EC Department at LG Engineering Technology. Welcome to the session of Digital System Design. So, from the number 3, that is a sequential logic circuit design, we know that there are total 4 types of flip-flop like JK, SR, D and T. Now in today's session, we are going to introduce the master slave JK flip-flop. What is the working of the master slave flip-flop? Alright, and why we require the master slave JK flip-flop? Right? So basically, there are the problems in the clock SR flip-flop, D flip-flop, and the D flip-flop. What is the problem? Which gives you the invalid state in the execution of the circuit. So to solve this problem, we got a new flip-flop which is called the JK flip-flop, right? Master slave JK flip-flop. So to overcome the race around condition, that is, my flip-flop is continuously change its state. So we are going to use the master slave JK flip-flop. So it will remove the invalid state, okay? And my output of the JK flip-flop that we have discussed already, it will toggle its state between 1 and 0. So for that, to overcome this drawback, we are going to use the master slave JK flip-flop. See, this is the circuit diagram, or it is the logical diagram of master slave flip-flop. You are able to identify that the two JK flip-flops are connected in the cascade form. The first one is the master flip-flop and this one is called the JK flip-flop. So the output of master flip-flop is applied to the input of the slave flip-flop, right? So two inputs are there, J and K. It is the same way as we are going to apply the set and the reset. Two outputs are there, Q and Q bar, okay? And clock is there. So clock is directly connected to the master flip-flop and its complement form is going to be connected to the slave flip-flop with the help of this NOT gate. Right? Two inputs, J and K, two outputs, Q and Q bar. So Q bar to the master is connected to the J of slave and the Q of this master is connected to the K of K input of the slave flip-flop. Alright, so this is the connection of master slave JK flip-flop. Now, we are going to focus on the working of master slave JK flip-flop. See, inside the box that we have seen over here, this box consists of the group of JK flip-flop, the NAND gate. Alright, see. This is the cross couple connection of JK flip-flop. This is cross couple connection of NAND gate with this two inputs. See over here. One is from the clock and another one is the output from the master. Okay. So as between the master and slave, we have for the clock input, we have connected the NOT gate. What does it mean? It means at a time my master will going to be activated or the slave will be activated, right? With the help of clock. Let's say if my clock is equals to 1, so for that period of time my master will going to be activated, and that 1 is going to be applied to the input of the NOT gate. So over here 0 will be there. So my slave will not going to be active. Alright. So to activate the slave flip-flop, we need to apply clock is equals to 0. So over here 1 will be there. So my slave will going to be active. So at a time, if clock is equals to 1, master is active. If clock is equals to 0, slave will going to be activated. So the output of the master is going to be applied to the slave flip-flop. It is going to be reflected at the output of the slave. And see, the outputs of the slave are also going to be connected. See, Q bar is going to be connected to the first input of the master, and Q is connected with the K, and where we have applied the K input. Alright, this is the master slave JK flip-flop. Now, as I have told you the working, when the clock pulse is equals to 1, the slave is isolated. J and K inputs may going to change. It may affect the output with whatever the state of the J and K. And the slave at that time is isolated until the clock pulse will becomes 0. Alright. So when the clock will be back to 0, the information is passed from the master flip-flop to the slave, and we will get the output. So if clock is equals to 1, master is activated. Clock is equals to 0, slave is activated. Now the working of master slave flip-flop, we are continuing. We can say that the master flip-flop is positive edge trigger. Slave is negative edge trigger. Why? Because the master is going to be activated for clock is equals to 1. That means from 0 to 1 clock is going to be changed. That is a rising edge, or you can say the positive edge. If the clock is changed from 1 to 0, falling edge, right? So when the slave is activated, my master is isolated, right? So if J is equals to 0 and K is equals to 1, Q bar of the master flip-flop goes to the K input of the slave, and this clock will force the slave to the reset. So the slave will copy the master. Okay? If J is equals to 1 and K is equals to 0, the output Q of the master goes to J input of the slave. The negative transition of clock will set to the slave, that will copy the master. This is the working of master slave. But when the J and K both are equals to 0, 0, 1, 1, then my output Q and Q dash is going to be toggle on the positive transition of the clock, and the slave at that time slave want toggle the output. So slave will toggle the output when there is a negative transition of the clock. Okay, so when J is equals to 0 and K is equals to 0, the flip-flop is disabled. So the output Q remains unchanged. That means it will hold its previous state, right? Now the next is positive edge trigger RS flip-flop. So when flip-flop is going to change its state at the positive edge of the clock, that means in the rising edge, when my clock is going to change its state from 0 to 1, that is called a rising edge. It's called a positive edge trigger RS flip-flop, in which you are able to identify that there are two inputs S and R, and the clock is for the activation of this flip-flop. Q and Q bar is the output. So whenever the rising edge is there, my clock, rising edge of the clock is there, my output will going to be changed. Otherwise there is no change in the output. It will hold its previous state, whatever may be the state of S and R. Let's say, consider the timing diagram of the positive edge trigger RS flip-flop. You are able to see that for specific period of time my S will becomes 1, then 0, then 1, then 0, and my value of R will be in starting 0, 1 and 0. So at the positive edge of the clock, as S is equals to 1, my Q will be 1, and whenever there is a transition in the clock, my output Q will become 0. Again, as S is equals to 0, in the transition of the clock, my Q becomes 0. Whenever the S is equals to 1, I will get Q is equals to 1. And the exact complement of this Q will be available at the Q bar. Okay. This is a timing diagram. Now we are going to obtain the characteristic table and the excitation. What is the difference between characteristic and the excitation table? Characteristic means we know that the state of S and R, and based on that we are going to obtain its next state. Okay, so for the given flip-flop input, what is my present state and what is my next state? Okay, and in the excitation table, based on the present state and the next state, what would be my input? Okay, so this characteristic table is the input driven and excitation table is the output driven. Alright, it is used for the analysis and it is used for the designing of any flip-flop. Alright, now consider that S and R both are 0, 0. We know that my next state won't be changed because it will hold its previous state. S is equals to 0, R is equals to 1. Flip-flop will be in the reset mode. So Q of t is equals to 0. My next will be a 0. This reset. S1 R 0. That means flip-flop will be set. Output is equals to 1. And what if my both S and R is equals to 1? Then that state is undefined. Alright? Because both Q and Q bar is equals to 1, that is invalid state. So the characteristic equation would be like this: S plus R dash Q. See over here. For reset, it will be R dash is going to multiply into Q plus S. And for the excitation, it is output driven. We know the present state and the next state. We are going to obtain what would be the input. Alright. For Q is equals to 0 and Q of t plus 1, that is the next state, is equals to 0. So S is equals to 0 and whatever will be the state of the R, that will be crossed. It means I don't care. Okay. So for S is equals to 0 and if R is equals to whether it is 0 and 1, my operation will be a no change. Okay. Now if Q is equals to 0 and my next state is equals to 1, that means I can say that whether the value of my S would be 1. Why? Because my flip-flop is set. So S is equals to 1, R is equals to 0. If Q of t is equals to 1 and Q of t plus 1 is equals to 0, that means my value of R will be 0 or 1. It depends on whether my flip-flop is set or reset. See over here, my next will become 0. Alright, I can say that my value of S is equals to 0, R is equals to 1. And if present state and next state both are 1, 1, that means I can say that my value of S would be a 1 or it may not be changed state. So it can be a 0. That's why I cross. Cross stands for don't care. And R is equals to 0. That's why cross and 0. So no change. This is the characteristic table. This is the excitation table. This is the how we can form into the truth table. Value of Q, S, R, and Q of t plus 1. That means the next state. Q is the present state. Okay. If S and R both are 0, 0. Then output won't change. So it will be same as a Q. If the S is equals to 0, R is equals to 1, there will be no change. It will always reset. If S is equals to 1, R is equals to 0, it will always set. Q of t plus 1 is equals to 1. S and R both 1, 1. That means invalid. Okay. S and R both 0, 0. But if my previous state is 1, output is equals to 1. S is equals to 0, R is equals to 1. Flip-flop is reset. So 0, 1, and for the 1, 1, it is 1. So over here we have seen the difference between excitation table, characteristic table, positive edge trigger RS flip flop, and what are the drawbacks of D flip flop, JK flip flop, and the RS flip flop, and how to overcome with the help of the master slave JK flip flop that we have done in the previous session. But still, if you have any doubt, you can ask me at any time on my video already. Till then, thank you for your attention.